What up, everybody? What's going on? It is that time of the week, your favorite time, America's favorite time, when we get to talk about America's team, Cowboys cutting up. I am J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Let's go. And of course, I'm joined by the man, the legend, the voice of Hill Country Sports, Trey Collis, also known as Trey 7010. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling great, feeling all
Yeah.
right. All my teams are undefeated. I can't complain. Can't
Oh,
complain.
there you
Longhorns,
go.
Cowboys, can't complain. It's starting to feel a little bit more like fall in the mornings and at night now. I'm enjoying
Facts.
this, but man, I'm
Big
ready for
facts.
Cowboys to actually play some real competition. How about you?
No, you know what? And I'm glad you said that. You know, title of tonight's podcast: Cowboys win again. Should we get hype? Listen, there's a point that we have to, kind of, do we temper our feelings? Do we kind of pat them down? Before you answer that, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this podcast, of course, on BGSE Network, Big Game Sports and Entertainment Network, where sports and entertainment collide. Where your favorite sports writers, announcers, fans, and of course, pro athletes come together and talk about all things sports. Man, look. So there's the question: is it time to get hype? Like you said, you're waiting for real competition, but should we be excited and hype about this 2-0 start? I'll leave it there, and then there's a follow on with that.
Uh, well, I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are doing. I'm talking to ESPN right here. All the
Yeah,
know-it-alls who still say the Eagles are the best team, the 49ers,
sure.
like they still don't believe in the Cowboys, whatever, this and that. I will say this. In the past years, the Dallas Cowboys have always played up to their competition and always down to their competition.
Yes,
Am I right? I'm right.
you're
So,
right. That's the question, buddy.
I know the Giants, they had a comeback they barely beat the Arizona Cardinals, who we all agree is probably the worst team in the league. Whatever the case may
Right.
be. They still won. They're 1-1. The Jets beat the Buffalo Bills without Aaron Rodgers, and they supposedly had the best defense in the top 3 defense in the league.
Yes.
So game 1, we saw our defense step up and do what it had to do and annihilate. I can't talk. Whatever.
Oh man. Annihilate.
Annihilate the competition. And then we're like, okay, what's the offense going to do? This and that, whatever.
Right.
And then we went up against a third. I know there's no Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't play defense last time I checked, right?
Correct.
So the top 3 defense, the defense going to carry him. We saw Dak Prescott tear up that defense from anywhere you want it, tore it. And I know he didn't throw 20 yards down the field. He didn't do this and that, whatever. He didn't have to. This is what we ask at Dak Prescott. And this is where I give Mike McCarthy credit. He knows our defense is our number one suit, or our number one strength. He knows, hey, we don't have to – punting the ball is not a bad situation right now. And I heard one pundit on ESPN say, I think it was LaShawn McCoy, oh, they kicked 4 field goals. I'm sorry, we still scored 30 points. I'm sorry.
We did.
Well, field goals are not bad against a team. But at the same time, we've been down this train before with the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Like last year, they went through a 3-game span where they beat a team 56-19, 40-6, 40-3.
Minnesota Massacre, yeah.
So that's why I asked, are we ready for some competition? I want to shut people. I think this is a top 10. This defense is fast. This defense, I think it's going to do wonders. And now with the new offense that Mike McCarthy is situated in, with Dak Prescott going fast, no huddle, doing this, like letting him see the play.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm not there yet. I'm still at that point where I need to see them get past the divisional round to say they're one of the best teams.
Yeah.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing because usually we play down to our competition, but now we're just annihilating teams. We haven't seen the Eagles do that. The 49ers struggled last week a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Dallas Cowboys right now, after week 2, are the best team in the NFL.
So here's the other part of this. My earpiece just died, so we'll keep it moving here. But Dallas defense, and I remember saying this. They were going to be top 3, if not the top defense. I think we can stay. And yes, it's early, but if staying relatively football healthy, let me say it like that, football healthy, because there is a difference. If they stay relatively football healthy throughout this season, I cannot see them not being the number 1 defense in the league, setting records for their defense, and Michael Parsons not only being the defensive player of the year, but also in the conversation for MVP. That's a lot to say. But I think, again, you said it right, top 3 defense in the league. Okay. Yes, they have 5 field goals. They can't have 5 field goals against good teams, really good teams. Let's say the San Franciscos and the and the Eagles. You cannot do that. But and that's something they did address. Hey, when you get down to the red zone, so that's the thing. They got into the red zone, they're kicking field goals. You get in the red zone, it's time to score. You got to score. Now, there were some that got called back because of penalties, drop passes, missed throws, right? Reality is there should have been at least 21 points put on by the offense that would switch it from field goals to touchdowns. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Maddie, coming in. Hey, glad you're coming through here, Maddie. Turk, this is my guy right here from Two Birds One Show. They come on Thursday night on this network right here, BGSC. They talk craft beer and Philly sports, and I get it. I do. The Giants were 1-1. We beat the brakes off of them. The Jets, they 1-1. We beat them. Okay, we beat them. Good to see you, my dude. But there's the question though. Everyone is asking if or how real are the Cowboys? We know the defense is real. That's not a fluke. The defense is not a fluke. What we got to figure out, excuse me, or what the team has to figure out is how to get the offense rolling and moving and scoring when they're in the red zone. Because that part, and again, number 3 defense, they have one of the best cornerbacks in the league. You can say what you want to, but Sauce Gardner is the guy. He is him. He's the dude. Okay. Diggs got beat on some plays. Okay. Garrison is nice. He's nice. But again, I'm talking about that defense, New York Jets defense. It's a good defense. And we put 30 on them. That's a fact. So, when it comes to professional sports, you play in front of the professional people. Now, is that the best team? No, not the best team in the league. Top 15, yeah, I would say they're a top 15 team. They'll probably make the playoffs. With Zach Wilson. You heard it here. You heard me say it. With Zach Wilson, possibly. They beat the Bills already. So they're already up in the division. Will they beat Miami? No. Yeah, probably not.
No.
Will they beat the Patriots?
Yes.
So the only competition they have at this point, excuse me, and they'll probably split with the Bills again. I don't see that happening again, right? If they sweep the Pats, then there you go.
Oh my God.
Yes, Zach Wilson, come on, number 3 overall pick. What, 3 years ago, something like that?
Number 2 overall pick.
I'm sorry, number 2 overall pick 3 years ago. Yes. Yeah. Zach Wilson. Who? I mean, here's the question: who has Philly played?
That's where I was fixing to go right there.
Who? What quarterback have they played?
That's exactly where I'm fixing to go.
Who? I mean, seriously, who have they played? And they struggled. They struggled. Come on, this past weekend. Let's be real about this, man. Don't come to me and say, "Oh, well, the Eagles have a harder schedule." Tell me who they played. Who have they played of significance? I mean, that's my question.
Well,
and how did they beat them?
Well, that's where I was going to go with it because I heard the same thing this morning on ESPN radio. The Eagles have played a tougher competition. The two teams Eagles have played have not won a game. Let's just be straight up honest with ourselves. The Eagles only won that game because the Minnesota Vikings they forced four turnovers. They caused four turnovers, right? The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
And they still only won by 6 points. And let's be honest, if New England, that receiver for New England that rookie receiver can get a second toe in, they have the ball inside the 30 with under a minute left to go. They're probably going to take the lead in that game because the Eagles secondary sucks. Let's just be honest with ourselves right now. I know it's only been 2 weeks, Matthew. I know it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, in this whole the first few games of the new preseason games, bro, 70-10. 70-10. That's the deficit there. Okay, it's not 6 points here. It's not a touchdown there. It's 70-10. And guess what? Our players didn't play in preseason either. The starters didn't play in preseason.
Our number one defense didn't play. Our offense didn't play. No one played in the preseason, and we're doing anything. If you ask me, I know it's I know there's going to be injuries. I know there's a lot of way to go. Teams are going to get hot, this and that. I'm not saying the Dallas Cowboys are going to go 17-0 by any stretch of the imagination. No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. But what I am saying, if you ask me to the first 2 weeks who the best team in the NFL is right now, no question. I know they only play the two New York teams, but guess what? They're professional athletes. They're professional players. And Dallas, who, mind you, their defense, Dallas's defense, has the third most fantasy points over everybody. I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. I'm talking about Matthew Stafford. I'm talking about all these players. They have the third most. Just think about that for a second. The third most.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what I'm impressed with the Dallas Cowboys, because usually we play down to the competition. I know what he's saying. Cowboy fans laugh out. But listen, we annihilated. That's what good teams are supposed to do, right? We're supposed to kill the competition that we're better than, and that's exactly what we're making these teams look like. We're a high professional college team, I'm not going to put Alabama, like Georgia versus South Alabama. We're annihilating them, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Where the Eagles, on the other hand, had to have a miss of 3 first quarter turnovers over New England to get up to a 16-0 lead and barely hang on by the skin of their teeth against New England. And then also had to get 4 turnovers from their running back, the receiver, Jefferson, which don't get me started on that one play when Jefferson was going to reach in for the end zone and it went to got a touchback for the defense. I hate that freaking rule, but whatever the case may be. But they had 4 turnovers in that game, and yet they still Minnesota's still in that game. So don't give me this. The Eagles can still come back. I know it's only week 2. I'm not saying all that. But right now, the Cowboys are the clear-cut favorite of who the best team is in the NFL.
Absolutely. Listen, you can and this is typical of what generally happens when the Cowboys are playing well. If they're up, people will say, "Oh, well, who did you play?" Well, they're trash. Or they're this, like that whole, the Minnesota Massacre. They tried to say, well, Kirk Cousins can't play on in prime time. It's always an excuse. It's always an excuse. Listen, the first 2 games of the season, they have handedly beat the teams that they were supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to handedly beat them. Okay, it's not supposed to be close. It's not, it's supposed to be, it's the competition. No, you're not going to convince me of that, especially based on who you play and when you play them. It's just not going to happen. So here's my thing. If if the Eagles are committing 4, or if they're committing turnovers like they have these past games, which is not very indicative of their team, okay, like the past couple of years, past couple of seasons, that's going to be an issue because Cowboys have been capitalizing for the most part on turnovers. Now, here's the other question I have. Do you believe, and I know this is a Cowboy show because it's a Cowboy show, it's Cowboys podcast, Cowboys Cutting Up. But looking at San Francisco and looking at Philadelphia, who we both agree top 3 teams besides the Cowboys in the NFC, do you think the loss of their OC and DC is showing through?
Yeah, I told you that before the season started. Did I not? You can go back and watch the tape. I'm the one who said this. Jalen Hurts doesn't look like the same quarterback. And once again, we have tape on the Eagles and how to defend that offense. The only thing that no one understands how to stop is that stinking push thing that they do, which is still should be illegal, mind you, whatever the case may be. But whatever, they found a loophole. Congratulations, Eagles. You know how to do that. But they do not look – I'm sorry. I told everyone that this is going to be it's not going to be the same year that the Eagles had last year where they're going to be rolling over people and all. People got tape on them, and then, of course, they have a new offense and defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It just is as simple as that. When you happen to have a good team, this is why a lot of teams don't repeat, as in if you lose the Super Bowl, you go back to the Super Bowl because you lose a lot of your weapons and coaches and stuff like that. So in this case, the Eagles lost both their offense and defensive coordinators. Not only, mind you, that they had secondary flaws as well. They lost Maddox probably for the year. They lost all these other great corners. They cannot guard anyone in the secondary. So, yeah, they have a good run defense. They like the Georgia Massacre, whatever they call it, whatever the case may be. But, yeah, go back and rewind the tape. I'm the one who shouted the horns like, oh, the Eagles this, Eagles that. Man, the Eagles lost both their offense and defense. It's going to take time to gel. And by that time, I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be running away with the division. That's what I think, and that's what I predicted, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, usually when I look at the division, I try to be as honest as possible. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm a football fan first. I have to say that, right? But looking at this team and the other teams that we are going to have that competition from, I mean, the reality is Jalen Hurts was 22 of 33, 170 yards for 1 touchdown.
He hasn't had
the win over the Patriots.
He hasn't had a 250-yard game yet.
Right. I mean, and I get it. They don't play. I've always, and I continue to state this, the first 3 games of the regular season are preseason games. But if we're going to say, hey, this is all predicated on, the best players on the field, which are usually the quarterbacks. Again, Jalen Hurts, 18 to 23, 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And he's usually the second or third highest rusher when it comes to yards. The Cowboys defense said they wanted to shore up their run defense. They wanted to make sure that run defense was better. Do you know how many times the Jets had scheduled runs?
What was
you know how many touches there were?
Was it
for the running backs?
11 or something?
8.
Yeah, Breno Bruce Hall only had 4.
Yes, and Cooks had 4. 8. Their leading rusher was the quarterback. That was the leading rusher. So, a couple of things happening there, right? Obviously, they dared the Jets to say, you know what? If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us with Zach Wilson's arm. Took him out. He was seeing ghosts out there. Ghosts. Like Danny Dimes seeing ghosts. Thought people were coming for him. They weren't. Right? So they did what they were supposed to do. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm looking forward to everything that is coming, to how they play. I talked to my my father figure, I say, hey, Pop, man, look, these guys right here, and all we could do is just make sounds when we talk about Cowboys defense. That's all we can do. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, Trey. When you're like something so good, all you can do is just make sounds. You just don't even say anything. Ooh, oh my God. Ooh, ooh. That's all we said. The first probably 3 or 4 minutes after the game, because we don't call each other during the game. And that's a note. Don't call people during the game. Don't call. Don't text. Don't do it. Just don't. Okay. I have friends that do that. They're not really my friends anymore because they call and text during the game. Friends don't text friends during the game. Friends don't call friends during the game. You go over to the house. You can do that. But great game. These are needed wins. And these are great tune-ups. Right? I hate that it was a divisional game first, but
Not
great
done.
tune-up.
Yeah.
Great to see what they have. Coming up next, we have Arizona. Now, here's my issue with this game. And I know people don't like to say this word or this term. But this possibly could be a trap game.
No. No.
I hear what you're saying, and I halfway agree with you. Again, you have Zeke on the other side, so you know he's going to go full steam. You're going to have a defense that is trying to stop the run and have said this is our biggest weakness. And again, you have Zeke on the other side.
No. You're getting your games mixed up.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I am. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. No, I say that to say this. Looking past the Cardinals to the Patriots. Maddie, I know you're not saying what a cake schedule. Bro, we just come on, man. Really? You know what the Eagles schedule looks like. And who they've played so far and who they've had issues with so far. Come on, man. Don't do that. The Pats have Zeke. I understand that. And that's what I was talking about is them looking past the Arizona Cardinals with Josh Dobbs, right? No. And them saying, hey, we're going to take care of that. Let's focus on the Pats. You don't think so?
No.
Okay. They've done that before.
Well, the reason I say this is because we saw against Arizona's going to give us their best shot early in the game. No doubt about it. Like they went
absolutely.
They went up against New York 20, but then at halftime they're going to be like, no, we're trying to tank for Caleb Williams. Like we don't need to win any games, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Like even if we play like our worst, there's no way Arizona's going to let us lose that game.
Do you think they're actually trying? Do you think they're tanking for that?
Oh heck yeah, they are. Come on, man. They traded Colt McCoy for Josh Dobbs, dude. Come on. Everyone in the world can see what's going on here. They traded DJ Hawk. They want Kyle Murray out of there. No. Now, if you would ask me next week,
Colt McCoy.
If you would ask me next week when they play New England, I think that's more of a trap game.
Colt McCoy. Wait a minute. Okay, look. And I like Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy's a better quarterback than Josh Dobbs.
But he's not as athletic.
Who freaking cares? Colt McCoy.
I'll tell you. You know who cares? I'll tell you who cares. People who get sacks on Colt McCoy because he stands there. People who get sacks or gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage because, hey, guess what? He's not as athletic as Josh Dobbs. That's who. He's more athletic. If I'm wrong, I'll take it back.
He is more athletic, but he ain't gonna win.
If you tell me Colt McCoy is more athletic than Josh Dobbs, I'll take it back.
No, I'm not saying that whatsoever.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that Colt McCoy has won you plenty of playoff or NFL games than Josh. I think Josh Dobbs has maybe won 1 or 2 games, maybe in his whole career, whatever the case may be. But the Arizona Cardinals are tanking. Now this is where I hate the NFL schedule. Because we go to Arizona, right? Not that
Yeah.
far of a flight, whatever. We go to Arizona, we play that. Then we come back home, face New England. And then we're 2 games on the East or West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
One's a Sunday night game, one's a Monday night game.
Yeah.
Now, the New England game, I would consider it might be a trap game because I think both teams are going to go undefeated and going into that week before each other play each other.
Yeah, I don't see the Pats game as a trap game though,
I agree.
because again, you have Zeke and you have Belichick, who is still a great coach. You can say what you want to, but he's still a great coach. Niners is going to be a good game. Yeah, the Dallas is pretty good. See, this is backhanded. When Philly fans say, yeah, they're pretty good, but there's still a lot of football in the season. That's how they say it too. Yeah, they're pretty good, but there's a lot of football in the season. Look, man, just call it what it is. That they are on pace. They are on pace to break defensive records. They're on pace.
Dude,
it's a cupcake schedule, but I'm not seeing it.
Dude, all you got to do is watch with a blind, with a naked eye. This defense is fast. This defense is, even though they make a mistake, they can get you in a hurry. You know what I mean? Like Michael Parsons getting double teamed, he's still beating them, and then he's opening up other lanes for the defensive rush to get there, and then you have the reason we can do that is because we can play one-on-one on the outside with Gilmore and Diggs, and then our safety is four deep. There's no weaknesses right now in this Dallas Cowboys team. I'm saying that right now. You can say the quarterback, whatever the case may be, but he's not turning the ball over. How many turnovers has he had?
0. Yeah, 0.
And he's not, because now he's in an offense that Mike McCarthy knows, and just play the strength through our team, which is the defense, and punting the ball is not bad. He's doing exactly that. And there is no weakness right now on this team. Say what you want to. I don't care. Eagle fans, come at me. You can follow me on Twitter at Trey3025. Whatever the case may be, you can get at me. I don't care. But when you start coming at me, you're scared because this Dallas Cowboys team is scary and everyone knows it.
I will say there is at least one weakness here, and that's red zone touchdowns.
Is it though? Because we have
yes, it is.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. We play this, we're not turning the ball over in the red zone.
No.
Field goal's not a bad thing when we play strength to our defense. Our defense is not going to give up 15, 20 points a game. So why is the field goal that thing? We still scored 30.
We did. But what I'm saying is, there has to be a point where there's going to be a point where we will get in a shootout. I don't know if it's San Francisco. I don't know if it's Philly. I don't know if it's Seattle. The Commies, it could be them. They've got some good receivers, and they got a pretty stout front. And Chase Young is trying to play for a contract. He's playing for a contract right now. The Lions, they can put up points. The Dolphins have the best receiver in the league.
The Dolphins is the one, but that's later in the year.
That's okay. That's later in the year.
We might not even be playing for anything by then. We might already have one seed already wrapped up. Win the division.
The Dolphins are winning the division.
No, Dolphins got it wrapped up.
Yeah, they're winning the division.
Well, if Tua gets hurt, then I would say probably not. But
yeah, it's all predicated on his health. I'll give you that. But if he's healthy, they win the division. They're winning that. So, that's the thing, man. Okay, you don't play down to your competition. You keep rolling, you keep rocking, but you've got to score points in the red zone. Now, am I saying field goals are bad? I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this: you can't kick 5 field goals. You can't be in the red zone 4 times and kick, or 5 times or whatever, 6 times and kick 5 field goals.
But here's the thing on that. We knew that the Jets could not score more than 16 points that game. So Mike McCarthy, was he laying it back a little bit hey, let's just don't turn the ball. Let's don't do anything stupid right here. And then whenever when we do play Miami, the Buffaloes, the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers, we're going to see more of the offense or the red zone. That's why I'm saying I don't know until we play the real team like the 49ers. That's what I'm waiting to see.
But see, here's the problem with that, though. We just said that the first 3 games are your preseason games, right? If you can't do it now, what makes you think that they can turn it on when they need to? That's that's the problem.
Well, you got to remember the Jets have the number 1 red zone defense in the league. We can't take that away. So
Okay.
we didn't turn the ball over. The Giants, we didn't have to do anything because of basically our defense scored more. The defense did everything.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying we can't tell until we play like what you're saying when we get in the shootout, see what happens. Then we can start nitpicking. But right now, I'm very happy with what the offense is doing. I don't care what the red zone says. I don't care what this, that, or the other. We're not turning the ball over. We're not getting the offense extra more possessions on the opposite team. Last year, Dak was throwing picks in the red zone. Last year, Dak was doing too much. This year, he's not. He knows our strength of our defense, and most teams are not going to score over 20 points. Now, when it gets to Miami, yes, I think. But I think until we get there, I don't know. I just think that we're all right. I don't mind kicking field goals as long as we're scoring touchdowns. I mean, we scored 30 points against the number 3 defense in the league. Give me a break. Like, what are we talking about here?
21 of those 30 points, field goals.
Hey, but you know what? You can take that as a positive too. Like, hey, we actually have a field goal kicker now.
Right? Is that my math right? No, 15 of those 30 points. So half of the points are field goals.
Okay, we take those field goals away, we still win. like what are we talking about?
That's a horrible win. If it's 15-10, that's a bad win. That's a bad. It's a win. It's a win. It's a win. But it's a bad. Look. Now,
now you're sounding like an Eagle fan.
You've turned me into one of those Dallas Cowboys fans. You know I hate that. I don't want to be that type of Cowboys fan.
That's what I'm here for. Well, we looked at the Steelers yesterday. They had to have 2 defensive touchdowns to win the game. Are they apologizing for the win? No, a win's a win in the NFL. It doesn't matter how you get it. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Because it's the Steelers.
I'm just saying they won. They got to apologize for winning the game. The Eagles, they got 4 turnovers. They barely won. Are they still going to apologize for having ugly wins? No, they're still at the end of the day. They're still 2-0. So what difference does it make?
Because they're the Eagles, and they're supposed to be that.
Now I will say this: in the red zone, this is where you want your tight end, and the tight ends did a better job this week.
They did.
They did a better job of catching the balls in the end zone, scoring touchdowns, stuff. And this is where you kind of miss that heavy back like Zeke Elliott and stuff like that in the red zone. It's like when you need that 1 or 2 yards because you can't have Pollard or Deuce Vaughn or even Rico basically running up the tackle because they're not going to get that yard for you. That's where I agree with you on.
Yeah, Donald is not big enough. He runs hard though. I do like him. He runs hard.
I love all our running backs, but they're all fast. Like they don't have a power.
Yeah. No, there's no power. Well, there's Lukey. I like Lukey. I like the kid, man. I think he's great fullback. He's got some speed, got some hands. There's a lot of things you can do with him, right? You can leak him out to the flats or slant. I mean, there's just a lot of things you can do with this kid. But you got to be creative. You got to be creative. All right, here's the other question I have for you. And I feel like this is really easy, but I'm still going to ask it. I'm still going to pose it. Who is the face of the franchise right now?
Right now?
Well, yeah.
It's Micah. It has to be, right? Is there any stupid other question? It's Micah.
Do you think that, and this is a stupid question, but I'm going to ask anyway.
There's no such thing as stupid questions.
No, this is stupid. But do you think that makes Dak feel some kind of way?
No, then that's why I like Dak Prescott, right? Like Dak Prescott doesn't care. It's like he's a leader. Okay, there's 2 differences. Micah Parsons is the face of the franchise. That's what the other teams are gonna do their scouting report on. It's gonna be Micah Parsons. How do we defend Micah Parsons? How are we gonna do all this? But Dak, being the leader that he is, he leads the troops in the locker room, outside the locker room, stuff like what he says in the press conference, stuff like that. Dak's the leader. Micah's the face of the franchise. That makes sense. I don't think he cares as long as they win, because Dak knows at the end of the day, no matter how they win, if it is a big if they win the Super Bowl, if they make it to the NFC Championship game, it doesn't matter because basically he's doing exactly what Cooper Rush was doing last year. Let's just be straight up honest with ourselves. He's doing exactly what Cooper, not turning the ball over, doing what the defense gives him. Punting the ball is not a bad thing with our defense. That's exactly what's going on right now.
So Dak is a $40 million backup?
Yes. And yes, he is. I'm sorry. He is. He is. I love you, Dak, but because Dak can't throw the ball deep. He's not an accurate thrower. He's not. These last 2 games, what is he averaging? 4 yards a throw? I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about? He's not turning the ball over. That's the only difference right now. And that's what Cooper Rush did last year when we won those 4 straight games.
Dak is a $40 million.
Do you disagree with that?
That's tough. That's tough to swallow, though.
It is, but it's true.
$40 million for a backup?
I wouldn't say backup. I would say game manager. It's like a Alex Smith.
Ooh. But Alex didn't win anything.
He went to the AFC Championship game.
Did he win?
Dak Prescott won.
No.
Okay.
Only game manager that I know of that won.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer. Yes, exactly. That's the most notable one. All the others, I think we can consider great quarterbacks.
Really?
Name one that wasn't besides Trent Dilfer.
Who's the Giants quarterback when they beat the Ravens?
When they beat the Ravens?
Yeah.
It had to be Eli.
No.
Hotstetter? You're not a Hotstetter. No, that wasn't Hotstetter. It was the Bills.
Would you call Nick Foles?
No, it wasn't Nick Foles.
No, I'm just saying, would you call Nick Foles a lead starter? Or a backup?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Because there was a time when I would have taken Nick Foles over Dak Prescott.
Okay, now that we've seen Russell Wilson in the last 2 years with the Denver Broncos, was it him or the defense?
No, I think it was a mix of two. It was a mix of both.
I'm just saying.
But I wouldn't. But he's not a game manager. Russell Wilson's not a game. He wasn't a game manager.
Well, no, he's not a game manager because he's losing games now.
Well, but he wasn't a game manager.
Yes, recently, like you had Patrick Mahomes, you had Tom Brady, you had Matthew Stafford. Would you call him
no
a lead quarterback?
No, he's not a backup QB. He's not a game manager.
Joe Flacco, he got hot in the playoffs. That's it. Other than that, besides that, he got his $140 million and he went home and didn't do anything else.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a game manager though. He could throw the ball all over the field.
Well, what would you call Dak? He's not a game. You don't think Dak's a game manager right now with his defense? I'm not. That's all he has to do. That's all he has to do.
I would say he's turning into one, or he's being made to be one.
But that's what he is. Okay, back in 2016, when him and Zeke, he wasn't throwing like he had a great year, but mostly because of Zeke Elliott, because everyone's focused on deep in that run game.
Yeah,
I can blow you away with his numbers or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And that's what got him a lot of wins.
And what I've said, and I've said this here and on different podcasts, is as long as he's not throwing over, I think the number is like 32, 33, something like that.
38 times.
38 times, right?
But they also ran the ball 40.
Yeah, anytime he gets close to 38, we lose more times than not. So, yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that. Okay, game manager, and it has a bad connotation.
It does.
It has a bad connotation, but you know what has a worse connotation? Great quarterback to never win one, or good quarterback to not win one.
And I hate that because Dan Marino's a Hall of Fame quarterback who never won the big one. He only went to one Super Bowl his rookie year.
Yeah.
After that, he never went back.
Was he a game manager?
No, but he never won a Super Bowl though.
He didn't. He did not. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking though. great quarterbacks that never won one. I think he's really kind of the only. He finally won one because of the defense.
Yeah, defense and run game.
Yeah, the defense, definitely the run game. I don't know. With the exception of Pat Mahomes and dare I say Tom Brady, and I really don't think it was Tom Brady himself. It was Belichick and that defense that really won those
But when they
championships.
needed a 2-minute drive, though, it was always Tom Brady. When they needed
Tom
that
Brady
late,
does that, right? He quick passes,
yeah, exactly
4,
what
5, 7
exactly
yards, and
what
they break.
exactly what Dak's doing.
Right, but he could throw it down the field. He could throw. He showed
He
that
could.
he could throw it down the field.
But
And I
what
think,
happened when they? But what happened when they got a playmaker, Randy Moss? They still didn't win the Super Bowl.
well, the
Well,
defense was
what won? Okay, is Eli Manning a great quarterback, or is he a game manager? He did what his defense told him to do.
Manning's not a good quarterback. He had great defenses.
Exactly, and he didn't turn the ball over. That's exactly what we're asking Dak Prescott to do.
He turned the ball over. He took a lot of sacks.
Not in the playoffs, though.
He took a lot of sacks.
But because he knew what his not turning the ball over, playing the ball is not a bad thing, and let your defense do what it the four-headed monster rush that happened. That's Tom Brady. They were scoring all these elite points in the Super Bowl until they got to the Super Bowl, and then the defensive rush for the New York Giants shut them up. I'm just saying. You know I'm right.
Yeah, I just don't want to admit it.
I know you don't. It's hard for you. It's hard.
I don't want to admit it because I don't want to say he's a game manager, but I may have to say that just because
it's not a bad thing.
It's not. I mean, it's not. It depends on the player. If the player, and you're right, he says all the right things, right? I just want to win a championship. I'm here to help the team. Whatever the team needs, that's what I'll do. Like, that's what he says. And he actually presents that way, right? He does that. Yeah. The running, and we're going to get offensive linemen back throughout the season, which will shore up that rotation. Bass played a pretty good game. Biotish has come on in the last couple of seasons. There was a time when we were ready to hey, you can go ahead and go. Him and Lyle Collins, no problem. See you later. Smith is playing reinvigorated, with the exception of that costly penalty. But he's Tyron is looking really good. Martin is Martin. So I mean, I've been happy about the line. I just hope that health, I think, is going to be the biggest part for this team. They've got to stay healthy. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. As far as the defense, with the exception of Michael Parsons, Van Der Esch reinvigorated. And I keep saying that word, but Van Der Esch has looked amazing. Had a big hit Sunday, playing really, really well. Again, that run defense has come on. It has definitely come on. All right. So in this Arizona game, Trey Collis, what are you expecting? Give me your predictions.
Arizona's going to come out and play hard. It might be a little let down because the Dallas Cowboys are feeling the high. But the Dallas Cowboys are like Micah Parsons, all the defensive players say we want to shut the league up. We want to put them on notice. This is the game to do it. Don't let any doubt. Let the first two games go. I don't think it's going to be close. I think you're looking at 37-7, maybe.
37-7. It's a good score. People asked me last Saturday before the game, what I thought. And I actually said that it was going to be around, I said it was going to be 34-10. I did say that, 34-10. It was 30-10. I think Arizona, you're right. I think everyone now is going to give the Cowboys their absolute best. This is their playoff game, especially for teams like Arizona, Patriots, who else? Obviously Commanders, but Seahawks, Lions. That's going to be towards the end of the year, so people will be vying for spots. Panthers are going to give them everything they got. So for this game, I think they actually get 14 points. Arizona, but I think Dallas is going to really play to their strengths as far as the run game, as well as going over the top. I think we saw some glimpses of that. They saw some things against New York with CD and the tight ends. So I'm going to say 38. 38-14, Dallas over Arizona.
Speaking of which, that was one thing you were always referenced to the Dallas Cowboys with penalties, right?
Yeah.
Guess how many yards and penalties we have?
Total?
Yeah.
I want to say, 25?
Yards?
Yeah.
That's 73, but whatever. We usually get that in one game, right?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about yards. It's penalties?
No, penalties, we've only had 11.
11 penalties?
And that's pretty good for the first 2 weeks, but Dallas usually has that in one game.
That's true. I was going to say, that's kind of odd. But it really depends on the type of penalties as well. I know Gilmore got like 2 penalties in a row for PI, which I'm like, one was obvious. One was he didn't turn his head all the way around. He kind of glimpsed. He did try, but to me, the holding penalties, the false start, the one that they called on Tyron, I thought that was a bad call. His hands were inside, not outside. The guy was falling down, so he just rode him down. He didn't pull him down. I just thought that was a really bad call. I didn't see it. But they called it, and because there's holding on every single play in the National Football League, every single play, both sides. So to me, that's not one you call. But I'm not an NFL ref yet, so
I would love to be an NFL referee.
You said you would love it or loathe it?
Oh, love it. $250,000 a year plus bonuses?
Yeah, but you got to run.
I don't give a crap. Give me $250,000, man.
You got to run. If you blow a call, man,
Anything's better than being a basketball referee. People are on the court with you yelling.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're arm's length away. Yeah, that's true. All right, so that's the prediction. We both obviously are going to go for the Cowboys. And we're not picking with our hearts. We're picking with our minds. Okay. I said 38-14. What was your score? You said
37-7.
37-7. I think we're pretty close to each other there. I think we'll get that spread. We'll see what the line is. I don't know what the line is right now. But I'm not a degenerate, so there you go. But hey, it's been fun. It's been real. Next week we're going to try and find somebody that loves the Pats. I've reached out to a couple of people. They're really quiet right now. The other teams are really quiet right now. I haven't heard back. I don't know what's going on. They're scared or something like that. They don't want to talk about their teams when they face America's team. I don't know. But I'm J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. That is Trey Collis. I guess he's trying to get his bets in. Thanks for showing up, showing out. Of course, for Cowboys Cutting Up. Of course, you can like, subscribe, and share. Ring the bell so you know when we are on. It's always a pleasure. Tomorrow, it's going to be a great one. A barn burner. Myself, J-Stogs, the Buff Nerd. Let's go with Big Game James on Big Game Sports Buzz. It's going to be great. 8:30 Central Standard Time PM. Yeah, it's kind of weird how I said it, but 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be fun. Lots of stuff. You know what we're going to be talking about? Football, of course. And oh hell no, man! Look, it's going to be a fun one. Come join us. Peace out to you all.